Last month at Wrestle Dream, Danielson's career was laid to rest, and the ending of that pay-per-view was such a fucking mess. But Tony said any booking is good booking, so I'll take what I can get. And if you think that Full Gear will be any better, the ending, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Da-da. Thanks, guys. You ain't seen nothing yet. Da-da. You think we've had a bunch of violence? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Da-da. You ain't seen nothing yet. Thanks, guys. I'll keep you all around. I'm John Rentham with my review of AEW Full Gear 2024 from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. And man, there were some good parts of this show. And it just kept going. Because Tony Khan has no goddamn self-control. And the talents have no self-control. And the whole company has lost control. Do you think I'm going to be kind to this entire pay-per-view? If so, you can jump off right now. I really don't care. There are parts I'm going to praise. You might be surprised by some of the parts I'm going to praise. God damn it. I thought the ending to Wrestle Dream was bad, and it was. Even if Danielson wanted to do that, the way they executed, it killed Washington State as a live event market. They're going to have to run a pay-per-view in a rec center if they come back here. But, that being said, Full Gear actually did have some good stuff. So really, let's just get into it. So they were in the Prudential Center, as I said, around 16,755 seating capacity. They had between 9 and 10,000 according to WrestleTix. And you know what? For the most part, that crowd was pretty goddamn electric. 12 matches and one celebration. 3 matches added literally last minute within the last day. Good job there. So, Jarrett, RJ City, Renee, and Paul Wings Hauser. I know his name is Walter Hauser, but I just wanted to use the name Wings Hauser. Who knows who Wings Hauser is? There's like 3 people watching this that'll get that. They were the panel. So, Deonna Purrazzo, along with Taya Valkyrie in her corner, took on Anna Jay. The fans were still filing in, so, I mean, there were some people reacting. Anna's time in Stardom, helped her improve. And I'm not saying she's ever going to be a world beater in the ring, but she has improved. Deonna is very, very good. And Taya, Jesus Christ, Taya, not only looking great, looking only as she can look, but you know what? Her and Deonna teaming up, it's a nice duo. So, this was all right. It was basically a TV match, but it was on 0 hour. It wasn't awful. Taya did his spear outside, but the referee saw that and said DQing, said no, leave. Anna then eventually got a roll-up for the surprise victory. So, okay, Anna beating Deonna, not the worst thing in the world. So, Billy Stark, Red Velvet, Athena, and Layla Hirsch were talking about some Contenders Cup thing that's going to be going to Wrestle Dynasty, I believe. Also, Red Velvet has a championship. I think it's a Ring of Honor championship. I don't pay enough attention to Ring of Honor, so if you guys know, please let me know. Lots of yelling in this. And then lots of stuff in the following match. Boy. Buddy Matthews, Commander, Dante Martin, and the Meat Mortos. It's a 4-way for no reason. Look, there was action. They did some good stuff. No doubt the Meat Mortos can do some impressive things. It was a car crash. It was a pointless car crash. It was something you could have seen on TV. It was something you could have seen open a WCW pay-per-view in the later 90s. And Buddy was over. I did kind of like how the Meat Mortos just crashed into everybody. The commentary is dog shit, I'm going to say right now. And I like Shivani as far as his history in wrestling. Excalibur was stumbling over his words. Menard makes me wish the commentary didn't exist. He is fucking rotten. Poison Rana, Splash, and a Stomp for 3. So basically, Buddy got the victory. So, alright. Paul White comes out to do commentary. Because we needed more people on it. Look, Paul White seems like he's looking healthier, and that's good. Because since he did have the ability to get the giantism, acromegaly, I believe is the name, he got it cured, early on enough so he could have a normal life. Unlike Andre, who probably could have gotten it, but it would have been more in its infancy. The thing is look, Paul White is living, honestly, beyond his life expectancy. Because he's in his early 50s, I believe. And seems to be moving better. Don't have him wrestle again. The last time he wrestled was really sad. So he brought out, Okay, I'm going to say right now, I don't get this Costco guys thing. I don't get it. Apparently, it's a Jersey thing. Apparently, this Big Boom AJ guy is from Jersey. Used to wrestle in Jersey. And if people like it, that's fine. Who is the Rizzler and why does he look like he came from Munchkin Land? And I mean, not even because he's a kid. It's just what in the goddamn world? If I were his parents, I would have sued the goddamn doctor for swapping out, a kid and putting a ham in its place. So, okay, whatever. Look, it was what it was. It was Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall. The people liked it. I didn't because I don't get it, and it meant a lot to them. You could definitely tell that the wife's from Jersey. Good God. So, if it worked for you, that's fine. I'm trying to be as nice as I actually can, but good goddamn Christ. This being on whatever. It was on a pre-show. Was what it was. I think at one point QT actually took a legit punch. Aaron Solo showed up. I forgot that Aaron Solo was still there. The kid speared QT. Big Justice, I think is the kid's name. And then some powerbomb. And look, the family celebrates. Cool, whatever. Just, the sad thing is, this is probably like the 7th or 8th most offensive thing on the show. Actually, I don't even know if it would be top 10 by the time we get to the end of it. It wasn't for me, and I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying to be nice, because I'm sure it meant a lot to them. You're not running Make-A-Wish, though. Anyway, so the House of Black band, I didn't understand them. Apparently, they speak another language, so, okay. If they do, alright. The Outrunners got a pop. Caster basically chucks the mic at Bowens after he does his rap. So that split's pretty much confirmed. And probably because Caster is pissed that Bowens actually is liked backstage and Caster continues to do himself no favors. So Private Party, they get their entrance once the pay-per-view goes live. Nigel thankfully joins commentary. So we get Menard off of there at least for a bit, even though Nigel can get overbearing. So Private Party had a bunch of women with glow sticks that had all the enthusiasm of goddamn hostages. I mean, what the hell? You couldn't have gotten people to look a little more enthusiastic. The extras in Honora looked goddamn more enthusiastic than that. Why didn't you get them? Oh, wait, that would have required talent for this entrance. Shots. Jersey ought to be used to that. Private Party versus the Outrunners versus the Kings of the Black Throne versus the Acclaimed. There's about 2 things. Yeah, well, it was about 3 things. Private Party getting a title run way too late. The Outrunners being pretty over. And really, it was just, it was also about the Acclaimed splitting up. That's pretty much it. Stuff just occurred. I don't know why referee Rick Knox is allowed to continue to exist in this company. Considering he was around when Methuselah was alive, it looks like he's going to turn to powder if they even breathe on him hard. So anyway, Caster's upset at Bowens. At one point, Excalibur says you can't cover your partner to get the victory, and then Rick Knox tries to do that when Caster and Bowens are the same 2 in the ring, because Excalibur is really fucking terrible at his job. I tried to defend him. I can't anymore. There's a fuck you Caster chant, because honestly, Caster is acting like a man-child. So, more miscues and issues and everything. Gin and Juice, at least Caster got pinned. So that's pretty much confirming that Caster is probably going to join the Hurt Syndicate. Or Bowens will. I mean, the Hurt Syndicate are de facto faces, even though they act like heels. So putting Bowens in the group might not be the worst thing in the world. Lexi's with Orange Cassidy. It's about the main event. And then MJF took on Roderick Strong. I'm glossing through some of this stuff because, look, the 4-way tag wasn't even that bad. But I'll tell you how I felt about the main event when I get to it. MJF versus Roderick Strong. Was it a well-wrestled match? Yes. MJF did grab the mic and basically said about, calling New Jersey trash and talking about Strong's mother shooting his father. It's the Von Erich curse. So an apron bomb, the amount of apron bumps is unnecessary. I don't care what promotion, what show. You really only should do one every once in a while, but this one had at least 10. And sometimes a couple matches had at least 3. So, Strong, he can work, but this character means nothing. He means nothing. The backbreaker stuff's nice. There's the Hammercock DDT. I think that's the name of it. And we get the Texas Clover Queef. I'm just making fun of this now. So, look, they worked well together, but this feud has been dog shit. I know MJF got a big raise to stay in AEW. And if he's happy, great. I think he should have made the fucking jump, to be perfectly honest, because I don't think that a number of years in AEW is going to benefit him. Because it hasn't benefited him so far. He's done movies, but after being injured and coming back, and then being gone a little bit, after that, whatever. He doesn't even feel special anymore. They've made me not care about MJF. We got some good near falls. We got a rack backbreaker, the gut buster, the kick to the head. We then eventually, after some targeting in the shoulder and the arm and everything, salt to the earth. Strong tapped out. MJF was run off by Cole and others, and O'Reilly got pissed. At least I think. It's hard to tell with O'Reilly's expressions. Do not do more of this MJF and Cole stuff. It's just bad. It's really bad. You know what was bad? Not this next match. Statlander versus Mercedes for the TBS Championship. I have been critical of Mercedes, and I will continue to be critical of Mercedes. Because whatever potential she has, whatever star power she has nerfed basically by cutting very scripted promos and everything. But when she wants to be on and she actually wanted to turn the clock back a bit, you know what? Good stuff. This actually was probably one of the top 2 matches of the night, to be perfectly honest. I would say this and one other I'm going to refer to a little bit later. Referee Aubrey. So, it was nice that Aubrey got to, be the official here. They booed Mercedes a bit, but the crowd really did get into it. There was a Rana on the floor. I thought the Mercedes' weave was going to try to leave at that point. We had a Chaos Theory suplex. They were laying shit in. They were doing some good stuff, and Mercedes was there for everything. I'm not going to say it was perfect, but this and the Stephanie Vakur match, or Vakur match, Vakur, I believe, those are the 2 best that she's had. And despite the lousy build, despite the fact that Camille means absolutely nothing, this is a pretty good match. We got, some near falls by grabbing the ropes. Chris Statlander had a bad knee that eventually Mercedes would target a whole bunch. Statlander got, the statement locked on her. Backstabber got hit. And a Meteora for 2. We got a nice driver for 2. So, Statlander was cooking. Mercedes are cooking. They were cooking with gas, as the kids say. There was some kind of F5 variation after the 3 Amigos. I don't really understand why they did that. The 450 missed. Mercedes targeted the knee. We got a splash to the knees. A moneymaker for 2. And she actually hit it on somebody bigger. So I'm not saying keep the finish. Break it out here and there. AEW chance, they were into it. A faceplant, the tombstone attempt, but Mercedes is biting the knee. And then eventually got, a roll of variation 1, 2, 3. And the doctors helped Chris away. So, okay. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. I was actually very surprised by how much I enjoyed this. So I was like, okay, this pay-per-view's looking up. Jay White got a pop, Hangman less so. I mean, Hangman would get some good reactions here as the match went on, but the thing is I don't know. I mean, I still say their Wrestle Dream match is better. This is kind of more of the same, except instead of Hangman having the bad knee, Jay hurt his ankle. I hope it was a work and not for real. So we got a superplex, we got chops and strikes. January 1st will be the first simulcast on TBS and Max for AEW Dynamite. If you are a Max subscriber, you will like that. If you're like me, and I know I am, I am going to probably still tape it on TBS just in case they don't have the catalog on there and see how that goes, because usually I work on Wednesdays anyway. Now, we got, like, it was like a half Nelson plex, like, on the goddamn apron, again on the apron, and again on the floor. Jay's ankle got slammed in between the barricades. We got an ankle lock outside. Submissions hurt more when they're outside. Finally, the referee starts to count. Just stop having referees there if you're not going to have them count properly. So, they get into the ring, and then a dragon screw on the knee. So now Hangman's knee is hurting again. A knee bar, gets the ropes, a couple dead eyes, just for 2. And we got some counters, nice ankle lock. And it looked like, okay, we might actually get, a 1-1 here. But no, suddenly, out of nowhere, Blade Runner 1, 2, 3. Jay has won 2 straight matches. So we're doing the same thing they did with Swerve, where he's going to be like, oh, well, you never beat me, you never did this, and Hangman's just going to be insane. It makes even less sense, given what happened later. I mean, I'm not upset with Jay White winning, I'm just surprised they went that route. So then Will Ospreay makes a more deliberate entrance. He's more focused. He took on Kyle Fletcher. And Kyle Fletcher was in some I Dream of Jeannie gear for no goddamn reason. Kyle Jean, Barbara Fletcher. I should have workshopped that. Which one's Dick Sargent? Which one's Dick York? The Dick is on commentary. That's Don Callis. And he says that he doesn't really care for children. No, he just grooms them, allegedly. He met Kenny Omega when he was very young. I mean, come on. The signs are all there, allegedly. So, basically, Fletcher targeted the arm, the shoulder, beat him up there, did some good stuff. There was good action here. Actually, I would argue between this and Mercedes and Statlander, these were the matches of the night. And that's despite one move that I normally would hate, but I was invested by the time they got to that point. We got some nice drivers, some kickouts. We got a lot of counters. I mean, you were going to get counters. You were going to get popping up. You were going to get a lot of things going on. Ospreay would sell and then fire up. And I don't know why in the world they did a tombstone onto the steps. This is after, by the way, a Spanish Fly, a tombstone on the floor, and then, we got a hidden blade for 2. We got then the tombstone on the steps. We even got a Styles Clash catch before that. So there was some good stuff, and the crowd was absolutely loving it. Again, the tombstone on the steps I thought was a little bit much, especially since others would use the steps before and after, but it was what it was. We got, the referee could have counted to 30, and Ospreay still wouldn't have been awake. We got a roll up for 2, we got kicks, strikes, and then eventually the brainbuster on the buckle, and Kyle Fletcher got the victory. Was it a bit too much? Probably. Are they going to rematch this at Winter is Coming? Yes. And was Kyle winning the right call? Yes, because you got to do something. I still say you don't need Don Callis on goddamn commentary, or at least you don't need him as much of an on-screen character as he is, because the guy's a creep. I don't even mean a creep in like, oh, he just makes my skin crawl as a manager. No, he's just a genuinely creepy guy that, quite frankly, looks like he should be on watch lists for several countries. But Maniac Mark Davis, as I'm calling him, comes out in a couch duvet cover that's also a jacket. That jacket was a choice, and takes Ospreay back, and I don't know what the fuck. Now it is time for the championship celebration of Mariah May with Mina Shirakawa, and good goddamn Christ, that dress. Good grief, Miss Shirakawa. My goodness. We want Mina. Everybody loves me. Yes, they do. And how could you not? Mariah comes out dressed in what almost would be constituted as a nightgown, but I'm not going to complain. And Mariah talked about stepping on all other women to insert her dominance. How was she stepping on them? I would like to know. And this didn't last long. It was obvious where it was going. At least I thought it's obvious where it was going. So they did the champagne drink, and then it looked like Mariah was going to hit her with the bottle, but then Mina Shirakawa has her spidey senses, her Kawa senses as it were, ducked and kicked the bottle and shattered it. And that was a neat little spot. I'll say that. And then they were all upset. They did the spear tackle onto the table. I think they were supposed to break, and I hope Mariah's okay, because that genuinely looked pretty rough. And Mina got either she lost a tooth or something, because I think she spit a tooth out. But she was bleeding from the mouth, and then started either biting or massaging or kissing Mariah's forehead. This is such a turn on. Did I say that out loud? It was. I don't fucking care who knows it. Man, it was a good little piece of business, as Triple H once said. Thanks, Wrestling Bios, for sharing that clip, because now I can never unhear it or unsee it. I'll say this, they at least got me invested in this feud. It was different, and the blood added to it. So then Garcia got a call from his mom, where his mom was saying stuff to him about how she raised him, and I raised a good boy. I raised a good boy. I'm a good boy. Then Garcia took on the scape joke, or the gape goat, as one of my friends said. A gape so big you could drive a bus through it. Garcia won. Do you fucking expect me to goddamn care about a Jack Perry match? This has not worked. It will never work. It's never gonna work. But good on Garcia for winning. The crowd popped for the win. This is the thing that bugs me, though. And I'm going to move on to the last few matches. The whole thing about, fans are like, well, Punk fans haven't moved on or stuff like that or whatever. Jack Perry's whole thing has been because of the fight that he instigated by being a little fucking dweeb. I'm not saying, by the way, the Punk was completely in the right. Punk was not going to last in AEW. But Khan stuck with Jack fucking Perry instead of just saying, you know what, get the fuck out of here, you're fired. No, he couldn't say that. But Jack Perry's whole gimmick is because he was so put upon everything, and he got paid, and he got to go to New Japan, where he got exposed as a fucking joke. And I saw enough of his stuff in New Japan. He can't fucking work. He can't fucking act. His dad now is a better actor than he is. And his dad, unfortunately, has been dead for a number of years. It's a shame his dad's dead and Jack's still here, because Jack basically has the range of a goddamn corpse. I don't care if that's mean. This guy's a fucking little nerd. This guy can't be intimidating at all. There were people in the crowd at Wrestle Dream that were twice the size of him, that were normal people, by the way. He's not intimidating. He's not fucking intimidating at all. And you better hope that this money he got from Tony Khan ends up carrying him, because if NXT were to take a look at him, they'd have to make sure that Punk was gone, because Jack wouldn't be able to work with somebody that's actually drawn money, that actually knows how the fucking wrestling business works. So yeah, Garcia won. Good job. Takeshita and Ricochet took on each other in a match that it really should have just been on TV. I mean, I'm sorry. I was getting tired by this point. So were others. The crowd was getting into some of it. There were some fuck Don Callis chants. They did their flips. They did their strikes. And Takeshita eventually won with a Super Falcon Arrow. I didn't hate the match. I didn't necessarily think, oh yeah, woo! It's tremendous. It was fine. It was fine for what it was. And JR comes out on commentary. Look, I love JR. Bless JR. He has the passion in his soul. He cannot convey it. He sounds bored when he talks. However he feels about wrestling now, Khan needs to just pay him to do these, one-on-one interviews. He didn't sound like he cared about when he signed Bobby Lashley. I know that he has a different view of wrestling because he's been around in it for been around in it pretty much since the early 70s with Leroy McGurk and Bill Watts. So right there, yeah, he's been around for quite a bit. He's had a lot of health issues, and bless him, and I'm not knocking JR as a person, but he can't do this anymore. Lashley and Swerve had a match. MVP and Shelton were in the corner of Lashley, and Nana was in the corner of Swerve. And they gave Swerve pyro. That was kind of nice. Shelton got involved, but then eventually got taken out. And then we got an apron spot. And then we got another apron spot where pretty much it looked like Lashley's head missed the apron and almost went to the floor. It was nice that Lashley was dominant and Swerve had to keep fighting back. He did do the steps up into a stomp on the Spanish announcer's table. And then a face-to-face with MVP. And MVP's like, yeah, okay. But then Lashley does belly-to-belly to the floor. And he hits a spear through the barricade, hits a second spear, and then gets a hurt lock on, and Swerve basically passes out. Good stuff. And then they do the same thing to Nana, throwing him in the ring. And there you are. Lashley got a victory. That was pretty good. I'm not going to say it was great. I get why it was on pay-per-view. And at least Jericho wasn't on this pay-per-view. And there was a little tightening up of the bullshit. The Bucks aren't there, thank God. And another thing, Kenny Omega is returning to New Japan, I believe at either Wrestle Kingdom or Wrestle Dynasty. I actually don't remember which one. I think it's Wrestle Dynasty. He is facing Gabriel Kidd, or Gabe Kidd. Gee, no wonder New Japan has lost my interest as they're pushing Gabe fucking Kidd. So, everybody in Right Said Mox, the Death Riders, arrive. And just imagine Moxley saying, sorry, Tony. We didn't have exact change for all the toll booths. Badass. So, Moxley and Orange Cassidy proceeded to have one of the worst AEW title matches I have seen in a while. I didn't expect this to be very good, but I have gotten to the point where the Cassidy shtick has just worn thin on me. They want to treat him seriously, and if you guys liked it, fine. The Mox stuff in particular is grating. If he can work, he does not care to work anymore. This character work is terrible. There was blood, which, whatever. I don't give a shit about the blood. It didn't add any drama to the goddamn match. It just made it stupid. We got the nails scratching and JR being disgusted by the biting of the cut. And, oh, look, everybody runs in from Cassidy's group and from Mox's group, and then Willow attacks Marina Shafir. And then, oh, look, a kick to the head, or a case shot to the head, and suddenly Orange Cassidy almost has a victory, but then Yuta hits a knee. Why are you pushing this fucking little, broccoli-haired idiot? God, he sounds like an angry 12-year-old whenever he talks. He's not intimidating. At Wrestle Dream, I'm watching, I go, this guy is not intimidating. I'm not even saying that Wheeler's a bad guy. He could do the moves. Congratulations. It's never going to work. And Tony will not admit it. So, yeah, by the way, Death Rider. God, Excalibur needs to just be cast into the sun. The crowd didn't care. Moxley retained, by the way. Oh, look, we've suddenly... Jesus Christ. Fucking goddamn bullshit. Christian comes in. I don't know why the hell Christian came in. Or actually, well, let me try that again. Hangman came in with a chair. Hangman, who lost to Jay White, is facing off against, Moxley. And then he just, takes out Wheeler. Hit him with a chair for what he's worth, which is absolutely fuck all. I could find somebody in goddamn Seattle just walking on the street. I guarantee they could beat the shit out of Wheeler Yuta. Anyway, so Christian then comes in. Oh my God, he's got the contract. The kill switch. Christian just doesn't mean anything either at this point. But is he going to cash in? Suddenly here's Jay White and he attacks Christian. Why is this all happening? Suddenly the Death Riders leave and then a car that is clearly Darby Allin's ran into goddamn Mox's truck. And then Darby hit so goddamn hard that he busted himself open. Good job there. And then he's yelling and doing all this and... I ordered the bundles on Triller TV, so I will watch World's End. I do not know how much more of this I can do. Wrestle Dream had a shit ending. This had a really, really shit ending. You're not going to build any interest with Mox's group, no matter how fucking hard you try. And the more Tony tries to fight against the fact that, yes, there might be fans that care, but there are way more fans that have tuned out. There are fans that have tuned out that still want to try to give AEW a chance, and he keeps giving them reasons to not care. All they'll remember is the finish, and that was one lousy fucking finish. And there were some good things on this show. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd handles in the description. I'm John Ricklin. I'll see you soon.